Welcome to Reddit Reads r/ProRevenge. Our first Reddit post is from older Sparky. A sysadmin pissed me off. I just wanted to get him fired. A Sparkies Tale. Over the years, my job has been pretty diverse. I enjoy all the master electrician and instrumentation work, but building and maintaining networks has been a joy as well. There are also lasers. There are so many pretty blinking lights. All the testing and commissioning tools are fun to play with as well. One thing that never gets old is seeing people's faces who don't know me that well when I rock up in high-vis clothing to start messing around in network cabinets. Here I am, a slightly scruffy-looking older guy, glue and resin on work boots, knocking about in it. Glue and I haven't been on good terms since kindy. It's pretty funny and handy sometimes. I don't know why. As an apprentice, I managed to get half a bottle of blue conduit glue in my hair for fuck's sake. Tom was a junior Gov system administrator working at a regional at Dept. See, Tom was a cockhead. As a wonker of the first order, in the 4 months that had been there after transferring in, Tom had pissed off the whole GovDit team. When the position of it manager became available at a 2,000 student Gov high school, Tom was encouraged Sysadmin to apply. You know, that person who has to comment on everything, thinks they know everything, thinks they are always the smartest in a room, but is actually only about 67 competent and a bit lazy. This was Tom. The role had an office and 2 support staff. The principal was so glad to have a Gov sysadmin apply for the role that they changed the job title from supervisor to manager to entice him. It was also arranged that Tom would be given more control over the school network than previous supervisors. I heard later that his then GovDit director may have suggested the title enhancement to the principal as part of the finesse. Tom had his own fiefdom. It also did take him long to piss the principal off either, as well as the admin staff and most of the teachers. It done work with GovDit for some time before Tom showed up. He had yet to rub me the wrong way. We had 2 biggish jobs at the high school, about a year after Tom started there, and change out existing room lighting for energy-efficient LED panels, change out a shitton of keyed door locks for a brand new standalone network door access system we would install and maintain. I would get to run both jobs. These 2 jobs would each be done during a 2-week term break, either side of a 10-week school term. In the planning phase of the door access network, Tom made it known that he would be trained on the new door system and be in charge of it, since it was a network in his school. The principal made it known whose school it was, and that Tom would stay right the fuck away from it since it was standalone and had nothing to do with him. Tom was not happy about this. High school called. One Tuesday, a little over 5 weeks since the door system had been live, I was driving to a job when I got the phone call that kicked off this tale. Fire having trouble with the new door system. Turning the car around, I wasn't sure what annoyed me more. At the system operator terminal PC in an admin office, I hear that there were 2 issues. That my sing-along with Blinkcone 182 had just been interrupted, or that I would now miss out on scones fresh from the oven. Some teachers cowled open some doors this morning, and some other doors that the admin staff tried to change functions on weren't responding. I suspected the regular user teething issues. We were 5 weeks into the 10-week term at this stage. They went on to explain that they'd looked and found the teacher's door access had been changed to remove some doors. They'd read the doors and fixed that, but the doors they were trying to change functions on weren't responding. Looking in the system on their user login, they were right. They'd read these doors correctly for these teachers. But why wasn't the system updating the door changes? Logging in as the admin, I see that apart from the hub in this office, the other 18 network hubs are not responding. Weird. Very weird. Unlocking the cabinet, I see that the fiber optic patch LED which connects to the other hubs is dangling in space. These take some doing to unplug, they don't just fall out. Reconnecting the patch lead and rechecking the network. I see the other hubs are responding, so I push the door changes through. There are still questions though, so I open the system log. Strange, because the admin staff finished at 4. I see that the changes to the teacher's access was made by one of the admin users at 533:30. The log also showed that someone who is not admin staff entered this office at 500 IP. Tom. I sat there and thought about asking the admin staff some questions, but decided against it. I suspected that Tom had insinuated himself here over the past couple of weeks to get the gist of how the door program worked, and had gotten a user login to boot. If I kicked up a fuss, he might be able to doublespeak the teacher changes. Also, the patch lead being out could be waved away as incompetence on my part. As I was thinking, the admin staff said that Tom had been in earlier and had overheard the issues they were having. Had said something to the effect of, "That's what you get when you let electricians manage a network." Oh, Oak, he was being pissy about being banned from this system. My crystal ball went through a variety of scenarios, and I decided to let sleeping dogs lie for now. Checking in and checking it out, I found that the issues they had were almost identical to the first, except that only 4 hubs were offline. 3 days later, on the Friday, I got another call about the high school's door system. After going to one of the affected hubs and plugging the patch lead back in, I opened the system log again, to find it empty. What the flying fuck? The daily backup file had been deleted as well. Only my admin login could do these things, and how the fuck did he get that? Checking that the secondary backup on an external drive was still intact, I dumped that into my laptop, all after the admin staff had left yesterday. Yep, this backup showed that the admin login had been used to do the teacher's changes this time, and delete the system log. This operator console PC had been provided by Tom. It was one of the school assets. Maybe Tom had a keylogger in there somewhere. I gave it a good Sparky go, but can't find anything. The GOFT image was supposed to have been wiped and a clean operating system put on. I even checked for cameras. After changing the admin password, I left and put on some Nick Cave in the car, and then went through my boxes of spare parts toys. That evening, while Mr. Cave and Daniels kept me company, I looked up keyloggers. It was secret squirrel time. On Monday, I timed my arrival to the school just as the admin staff were leaving. I just wanted to check some things on the system. They left me to it. I placed one small camera under the desk to see the back of the PC tower. That Thursday, same thing again. Happy with my work, I went home. Different teachers affected, and different hubs offline, but the same thing. Admin login used to wipe the logs and backup. I changed the admin password again for reasons. After coming back that afternoon to retrieve footage from the cameras, I figured out what he was doing. The first time, he used the user login to make changes, pulled the patch lead, then installed a keylogger device on the keyboard USB cable into the tower. It looked like a little black USB adapter thingy. He used this to get my admin login to wipe the system log and delete the backup, so there'd be no evidence of his card accessing the room. What he was doing was a fucking stupid way to go about it. His ego must be a thing of wonder. The contempt he must have held for my abilities as just a Sparky to figure things out even without the cameras was boggling. I maintain systems and networks far more complex than this, like the school's security system, for example, or a similar door access system in a much more secure facility. Oak fucker, game on. Over the next 4 weeks, Tom and I went through these dance steps 4 more times. I heard all about him suggesting that if he ran the system, a professional sysadmin, there won't be issues like these. I didn't mention to anyone about the logs or backups. I just kept collecting my video and secondary backups, because through my association with GOVT, it had learned a few things about their policies, and wanted to fuck with Tom and maybe collect some more ammunition before I absolutely fucking wrecked him. Purposefully using keyloggers on a govt asset is a big no-no. The next 2-week term break was here, and we began changing out light fittings. It was easy work, and I had a team of 8. Once I kicked them off, I went to work. These buildings were where the people worked who disliked Tom the most. I added a relay card to each of 6 specially selected security system expansion points in 6 different buildings. It worked at the school long enough to know all about it. Relays are wonderful. Give me enough relays, timers, and contactors, and I can make your wildest electrical control dreams come true. That's all. A relay is a switch, like a light switch that you can turn on-off without being there. Here's a thing about data cables that not a lot of people know. Data cables connect the data socket in an office to a patch panel in a network rack. There are 8 wires inside, but they each have very specific jobs. 4 are commonly used to carry data traffic to, or 1 pair for upload, 2 for download, another pair for power to a PO device like a wireless access point. Say you figured out a way to get 1 specific pair of these 8 wires into, let's say, a relay. You could then maybe interrupt the upload wires or download wires or power wires. Any of these would cause issues for your computer's ability to communicate. If you could turn the relays on and off at opportune times for selected people, perhaps via a security system you had remote access to, you could maybe introduce weird intermittent faults in a network. If you could do this without it looking like the cables in a network cabinet patch panel had been touched, you might now have a method to cause grief without it being traceable through it magic. Sure, a competent person would assume the cable was damaged and go test it, that a competent sysadmin should be able to diagnose and fix. But what if when you went to test, it was all oak? It would maybe look like a network system issue. A critical part of all this would be if you had a job as an electrician to make alterations to a building's lighting. You could then turn some power circuits off so that the network cabinet in a building was unpowered for a while. You could then take data cables out of patch panels without it being noticed by a sysadmin. This could be done over 2 days. You could run a new length of data cable and terminate it into the patch panel, and make a nice coupled join of the 2 cables in the ceiling, then split off some pairs to relays. You could then begin switching the principal's relay on the 3rd day of the 2-week student break. It would be pretty easy keeping track of Tom's whereabouts, so you could make the cable appear oak for testing. Once the principal was good and pissed off at Tom for not being able to fix their issues, you could start switching the admin manager's relay. The next day, you could go to work on the head of English in another building, then the head of science in another, having Tom out of his office, and you having a legitimate reason to be in their lighting job. Standing in Tom's office, I took a picture of the keylogger among the mess on his desk. It might have been hidden in a drawer before that. Then I called my mate Tom's old boss, the regional director of Govdit. He came down, took his own picture, and called the principal. I told him about the issues it had with the door access system, the videos, the keylogger. On my laptop, in the principal's office, I showed them the videos of Tom's vandalism on the door system. The director examined the keylogger. It was so much worse than I thought. They found not only my system info on it, but info from the school accounting department, director's department, and more. Tom had so much incriminating evidence on it from all kinds of government departments that he was bend over no lube fucked. When Tom answered the summons to the principal's office, I can't help smiling at him. I know that's mean, but I'm only human sometimes. He had no answers to the questions. He tried to claim the keylogger was his. It had too much stuff. The director shot that down. It can't be anyone else's. Then I showed him the videos. That look he gave me was priceless. A simple electrician had figured out it'd done this to him, and it was glorious. Go fuck yourself, Tom. He was prosecuted, because that wall caused too much of a public stink. Not as a janitor. But Tom got flagged and would never again be able to work in any golf job anywhere in the country, or as a contractor doing golf work, and since graduating uni, had only ever worked in golf. Sorry, private industry has all yours now. I did say something stupid though. Without thinking, I said, nah, I'll fix that. After Tom left principal's office that reveal day, principal asked director if they could send someone competent to look at the school's network issues. I blame having too much fun. After they had me explain what it done because I needed Tom out of his office, I had to cross me hair promise not to do it again. Thank you for reading. Principal didn't fully understand what it done, but director said I was like some evil MacGyver. I put the network cabling back in place and took all my toys home. Again, fuck you, Tom. Glossary. Kindy kindergarten, where you learn, as a small child, not to run with scissors. Also, where a lifelong acrimonious relationship is formed with glue. Not clad glue, though. That shit was tasty. Scone, a delicious flour-based baked treat. Grandma's scones are the best with cream and raspberry jam. The scones you try and make yourself are excellent hockey pucks. Secret Squirrel, a cartoon I liked when I was a kid. A squirrel secret agent who has a mole mate. They have gadgets and adventures. Nick Cave, Australian Renaissance man. Nick Cave is mostly known as a singer-songwriter. Excellent revenge planning music. Relay logic was used to run elevators before there were computers. So many things have relays. Little electromechanical wonders. I love them. So, a relay has a coil in it that you energize. This creates a tiny electromagnet and pulls a piece of ferrous metal down. This changes the state of the contacts. Easy how? Just like a light switch but without the need of fingers. This comment is from Anetrupin. Dear Sir, what an electrifying read. This comment is from Older Sparky. Puns, oh my god. This comment is from Marshall. As if the story wasn't enough, you put in the glossary. I especially liked the scone. You, sir, are a legend. Now, a word from today's sponsor. Surfshark is an all-around VPN solution that can do everything from torrenting as well as streaming to browsing the dark web. Surfshark is one of the very best all-round VPN, terrific for Netflix, torrenting, confidential browsing, as well as staying safe on public Wi-Fi. Check out Surfshark today, link is in the description. Now back to the video. That was Reddit Reads r/ProRevenge. If you like this content, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you are notified of new uploads. We upload new videos every day. Also subscribe to our Patreon, as that will help us a lot. See you next time.